away in an ambulance. Literally, his job was killing him, guys. 14-hour days, collapsed mentally and physically, gets hauled away in an ambulance. And she saw that and she says, what the heck? I got to get the heck out of here, right? So they had good educations, had very good, well-paying jobs, but they had no hope for retirement. They weren't even sure that their employer, that their company would exist in 5 years. So what they said, I'm going to leave you with this on this article. They said the rule books our parents have given us as advice is perfect for 1970, but we had to throw that out and we had to write a new one. So I just want you guys to know there's a lot of people that are going to give you advice about money, and that's fine. But just remember, sometimes the advice worked in the past is from a parent or grandparent, and it may not be applicable today because even though the advice hasn't changed, times have, right? So always look to the source of your advice. Okay, so let's unbroke ourselves, right? Let's talk about the topic for today. And the topic for today is
$1 million.
There it is. Yes. $1 million. Thank you, Dr. Evil. You did an excellent job there. I appreciate it. That's right. $1 million. Let me tell you guys, when I was a kid, somewhere about 100 years ago or so, $1 million was a lot of money. Oh my goodness. My friends and I used to dream about becoming millionaires. Like it was the ultimate. It was the top of the mountain, the end all be all. My friends and I, we would dream about Lamborghini Countachs at the time. That was the big car. Ferrari Testarossas, mansions like on Silver Spoons. Well, I'm really dating myself on that one. That's an old sitcom. Or even Robin Leach. I don't know if your parents might remember Robin Leach. He would wish us, to give us champagne wishes and caviar dreams, right? And that was a show called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous with Robin Leach. And he was a really cool guy, and he would share all this awesome thing, all the awesome lifestyles of wealthy people, and we would just like drool at the TV. It was fun. So I worked hard. I did save up a lot of money while I was working. And you know what, though? I still really didn't know what I was doing. I just knew the more I saved, the better, right? Then one day, it happened. By my mid-30s, I had saved up
$1 million.
There you go. Okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just joking around. Yeah, so I had saved up $1 million. By the way, that's one followed by 7 zeros. I know, it sounds impressive. It does. And I don't want to, make light of it. It's a decent amount of money, but I tell you, you know what changed? So I'm a millionaire now. You know what changed? Not much. I didn't start wearing a monocle on my eye. I didn't start wearing a top hat. I wasn't driving a Lambo, right? I wasn't eating caviar every meal. It was still just me. And look, don't get me wrong. It felt good to know that I had saved it, right? It was an accomplishment. I was proud of that. It's something that many people haven't done and many people will never do. But it wasn't as life-changing as I thought it was going to be. So the biggest feeling I had, I suppose, was, I had a sense of security. I knew that in my heart of hearts, no matter what happened in life, that I would be okay, right? I'd have the money to take care of anything. So for example, I knew I could take care of any emergency. By the way, knowing that you can take care of any emergency, anything that pops up, this lowered my stress levels. I wasn't worried about the car breaking down. I wasn't worried about ending up in the hospital and racking up a huge medical bill. I wasn't worried about a hurricane blowing down my house, right? And by the way, I do live in Florida, so that is a real concern. It does happen, or a flood or something like that. And also, if there was something I needed, I bought it, right? Now, it kind of made my wife mad, to be honest, right? Because she couldn't get me anything I needed for my birthday, which is today, by the way. And if I needed it, I had already bought it, right? So when it came to my birthday, she couldn't really get anything I needed. So she just got me some frivolous stuff and that I didn't really want, but that's okay. Sorry, honey. But you know what? I think the biggest thing for me, I knew that if I lost my job tomorrow, I'd be okay. Because at the end of the day, we don't really control when we're working for someone else. We don't always have that control over our future, right? That job can disappear. The company can disappear. We can get outsourced, downsourced, right-sized, in-sized, all those in, out, whatever. So if you're young on the show, you may not understand this yet, but when you have to show up to a job where you can get laid off on any given day, that just creates a level of stress that really, really can get you down. It makes you afraid. It starts affecting your job performance, because what happens is you have to walk on eggshells. You're always worried. Did I say the wrong thing to the wrong person? Is my boss happy with me? You're constantly stressed. And ultimately, a lot of times you have to choose between doing what's right and keeping your job. Now, who wants to make that kind of choice? By the way, a perfect example of this, Wells Fargo is a perfect example, second largest bank in the United States. And not a lot of people remember this article from a couple years ago, but they had to lay off over 5,000 people for opening up fake accounts for their customers, right? Fake accounts, they're opening these fake accounts people didn't ask for, they didn't want, but they opened them up anyways. Why? Do you really think there were 5,000 bad people working for Wells Fargo? I don't think so, not necessarily. But you know what? The employees were told if they didn't open up enough accounts that they would be fired. They'd be laid off if they didn't meet a quota for opening up these accounts. So what happened? The employees started doing some bad things. They started opening up fake accounts just to keep their job. So not having to worry about losing my job or caring if I did, I had the pleasure of being able to do the right thing 100% of the time, no matter what the consequence, right? And what happened? I was never fired, by the way. That never happened. I became more effective as a manager than I had ever been. And my employees were more productive because I had fought for them, right? And here's the thing, guys. Before you go thinking I'm some big whoop, hey, millionaire man, whatever. This is not about bragging. This is not saying, look at me. I just want you to know there are 1,700 new millionaires made per day in the U.S. That's right. I'm going to say that again. 1,700 new millionaires every single day in the United States. And that number is growing, by the way. This is an old number. So that's a new millionaire every minute of every day. So, but here's the thing, 69% of the country have less than $1,000 in their savings. So why am I telling you this? You see, there's no lack of opportunity in this country. And I want to give you guys a little bit of hope here. If you think $1 million is a lot of money, you don't think you're going to get there, trust me, you can do it. There's no lack of opportunity in this country. There's only a mindset of lack. We talked about last time a little bit about what money truly is and how it's just a tool. In our country, we just have a big misunderstanding of money. There's a lack of education, lack of competence, and especially when it comes to our money. But I promise, you stick with me. You stick with this show, you're going to have an amazing head start. You're going to learn more than you ever thought possible about money, about wealth, and ultimately, what we all want is freedom. By the way, if 1,700 people can figure out how to become millionaires, why can't you? Right? Are these folks really special in any way? Are they more talented than we are? Are they more privileged? Probably not. No. I think they just learned the right concepts and they applied them. They just learned how to do it. They say if you actually want to become a millionaire, find a millionaire, do exactly what they say, and then you'll become a millionaire, right? Get a millionaire to mentor you. So it is very possible. So I just want to take away the mystique of becoming a millionaire. And by the way, if you think becoming a millionaire is hard, it will be. If you think it's easy, it will be. So either way, it's great. So how do you feel about your chance of becoming a millionaire? Let us know on our Facebook page, Broke is No Joke. Put a poll up there. I want to know from you guys out there in the audience, do you think it's achievable or do you think it's impossible? Right? Let's take a poll on that. And I'm going to set that poll up and I want to see what you guys have to say. Now for some real crazy stuff, real quick. So is truly $1 million a lot of money compared to, I don't know, a can of Chef Boyardee? Yeah, it's a lot of money. Compared to the price at Beyonce's house, which by the way is valued currently at $88 million. No, it's not so much money. So just remember that next time you think it's a lot. $1 million, it's all relative, right? So let's talk real here though, guys. $1 million, it's not a lot of money. According to CNBC, $1 million is the poverty line for retiring today. That's the retirement poverty line. That means your parents or grandparents, right, the baby boomer generation will need this much money in order to retire comfortably today. And I'm not talking about retiring wealthy. You have $1 million today and you're retiring, you're not wealthy. You're paying the bills, You're seeing a movie once a week. You're going to see the grandkids maybe once, twice per year. And that's it. You're just getting by. So, champagne wishes and caviar dreams with $1 million today? I don't think so, right? More like we wish we had champagne. And I think I dreamt last night about a nice tuna fish sandwich, right? That's what $1 million means today for people nearing retirement. So I want to put this in perspective. $1 million today, especially, is not as much money as you think. So there's a very interesting article that talks about how $1 million will last in every state. And I'm going to share this with you guys. I'll post this on here, but I'm looking at it right now. So for example, if you live in Mississippi, your $1 million in retirement today will last 25 years. That's okay, right? You retire at 65, your money lasts you till age 90. Granted, people are living till 100 years old now pretty easily, but hey, at least you get you most of the way there. By the way, I want you guys to keep this in mind because your guys, especially millennials and Gen Zs, I promise you're going to see this. You're going to be living till 120, 130. All right, you guys aren't passing away at 90. You're going to be just getting started at 90. You're going to be like really crushing it, doing some awesome things at 90 and 100. But today, people are lasting to about 90 or 100. Now, if you I used to live in Oregon, so I'll show you Oregon. Oregon, $1 million will last you 16 years and 7 months. 16 years and 7 months in Oregon. Isn't that something? So if you retire at 65, by 81 years old, you're broke. Right? You're broke if you don't know what you're doing, especially. So I just want to share this with you guys because $1 million is not going to be that much. So when you guys go to retire, it might actually cost quite a bit more. So one principle I want to share with you guys, and I'm going to get on to a challenge and a book recommendation. Then we have our special guest speaker coming, or our guest that we're going to interview. I'm really excited about it. So the principle I want to share with you guys is called Think You Can. Now there's this guy, Henry Ford. Okay, Henry Ford, and he was a billionaire and an auto pioneer. And he said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. What was he talking about? All right. How could you be right either way? So it's about self-confidence. This is what he was talking about. It's about self-confidence and belief in ourselves. Every success, every failure stems from a belief that we have. Because here's how it works. You see, belief determines our attitude. If we believe we can do something, we usually have a pretty good attitude towards it, right? We feel good about doing it. And our attitude determines our behavior. So if we have a good attitude, when you have a good attitude towards something, you're like excited to do it. And you're like, man, I could do this. I can crush it. I got it. Don't you tend to do pretty well at it? Right? So our actions, our behavior turns out to do pretty well. And if we take the right actions and we have the right behavior, we often get the right results, which then reinforces the belief that we can do it. So I think that's what Mr. Ford was talking about here. But by the way, be careful because it works the other way too. If we don't believe in something is possible, we're not going to have a good attitude. We're going to feel pretty bad about doing it. And we're going to get some pretty bad results. And it only reinforces a bad belief. So what can we do about this? How do we use this principle? Simple. We need to expect success, right? It's no guarantee success is going to happen on the first try. But you know what? If we expect to do well, to succeed, we're going to be giving ourselves the best chance to actually succeed. And so take this principle to heart. I'm going to put this principle up in our show notes as well so you can read more about it. But I wanted to share that with you guys real quick. So at the end of the day here, the good news is I just want you to realize that $1 million, while still a good sum of money, is not as much as you think. And I want you to start believing that you can have it too. Stop thinking it's impossible. If you think it's impossible, it's just not going to happen. It's not. Stop thinking it's just for the talented. Stop thinking it's just for the lucky or the well-connected. I promise, if you apply the basic rules of money and you do the long-term strategy, you think long-term, you're going to get there a lot sooner than you think. So I'm excited for you guys. And by the way, secondly, you have to get there. You have to. This is the message I want you to take away from this program, at least for my part of it today, is you have to get to the $1 million mark because even that today is not enough to retire. But what happens in 50 years, right? It can't be a pipe dream. It's in 50 years, you might need 5 million or 10 million, whatever that number is. So I don't want you to be thinking it's $1 million, but I want you to be thinking, man, I got to get after it. I got to find a way to build wealth and take care of my family and have that life that I want, right? Have that freedom. So